Sir.
Suicide mission cyborgs. I'm going to do another recording. I have some time. It's a little bit cooler outside. So it's cooler in here. I don't really have air conditioning. Cyborg difficulty 10, so that tells me that we're going to need an anti-tank. The shotgun's very good at killing most things, even overlords. Just takes a lot of hits. But go all anti-tank. Get the shotgun going. You can kill cyborg patrols with the arc shotgun before they can set off the alarm. I'm going to read the situation first. Oh, that's really unfortunate. We do have to keep moving. We have one survivor left. We should really get him in the...
Request confirmed.
Oh, if the player lands on that survivor, that would be terrible. Oh my gosh, okay. So with the arc shotgun, its damage is unstoppable. It goes through everything, even obstacles. Can't pick him up yet. Still haven't called in anything yet. Looks like we don't really have much anti-tank right now. If you're using the arc shotgun, you really want to play around obstacles so that you can shoot without being hit by your enemy. We're on the move right now, so I'm still not calling anything in yet. I don't know why this guy's going left. Probably wants to kill the anti-air gun. We do want to get to extraction. That was my fault there. I wasn't expecting him to run into the enemy, honestly.
Request acknowledged.
Kind of in trouble here, working myself in the corner. Can't call anyone in right now. I don't know why they called him in so close to the enemy. They should have thrown the beacon back a little bit further. That would have made more sense.
Incoming fire.
We do have to keep moving toward the extraction point. Oh my god, that was stupid.
Request accepted.
So I made a couple of big mistakes there. I just blatantly killed my teammate by accident, thinking that they were an enemy. We do have room to move here. So we do have two artillery guns kind of blocking our radios.
Supplies incoming.
I think that'll reach. Oh, it does. That might kill me. Oh. MD99 auto-injector saving me there. Seems like we're holding off pretty well. I kind of still can't believe I made those mistakes earlier, killing my teammate. That was really stupid. Tank there.
Supplies incoming.
Should be able just to run on. Yep. So I joined kind of late into the game, making some pretty blatant mistakes there that anyone could pretty much see. You never want to kill your teammates. I killed mine thinking they were an enemy for some reason, and for much of that too, I couldn't call in my stuff just because of what we were doing. We started off doing an escort for the survivors, and then afterward we were on the move again. So calling in additional items at that point didn't make any sense either. We were okay in the fights. I killed my teammate once or twice, and eventually extraction wasn't too bad.
Hellport launch sequence
So
initiated. Crew to stations. I repeat.
I think bringing the REP-80 was a mistake, being that I also brought the eats. Didn't make any sense to bring the REP-80. I rarely used a REP-80, but for some reason I thought that would work out. But so I didn't quite see what we had to do. I know I saw artillery. I don't know if we have anything to defend. I think the one recoilless rifle isn't enough. I could do assisted reloads with them. I know the third player they're bringing a shield, so that's a backpack item. So they won't be able to do assisted reloads. I'll see if they indicate that they want me to do assisted reloads with them or not. So the first thing I'm going to do is read the situation, make sure there are no patrols in the area before I start calling in my stuff. Bring out my radar. I see he also decided to bring the ARC shotgun.
Dropping equipment. Dropping equipment. Supplies incoming. Dropping equipment.
Okay. One of the nice things about the ARC shotgun, the ARC weapons in general, along with the laser weapons, is that because they have unlimited ammo, you don't need to bring an ammunition stratagem, so you can bring an additional air support stratagem or defensive stratagem or whatever your heart desires. Okay. Pretty straightforward so far. Alright, well, that clearly didn't work. I'm going to sit back a little bit and do some anti-tank stuff if I can. Seems we're lacking firepower. I want to use this landmass here to help out. because I can shoot through it with the shotgun. It's still difficult to cover people with it, though. It's very hard to cover someone with an arc shotgun, or either of the arc weapons, really. I don't want to call in my eats yet. I want to wait until we get to the capture area before I do that. I don't want to end up wasting one of my eats. He's gonna die. Yep. Anytime someone joins the game, always stare at your Helldiver until they land on the ground, so that you know where they're at. I was hoping for some cover fire there, but... So all three of them have had enough time to call me in. Okay, there we go. So we seem to be struggling. You can tell already we're struggling. We haven't moved for a while in this area. We have a fourth player who's doing REP-80 stuff. So the other three are kind of responsible for the damage. And that's where he dies.
Stand by. Equipment on its way. Request acknowledged.
So again, we haven't been moving.
Engaging target area.
We're waiting for him to get his REP-80. Or his jump pack. Or he's... okay. So one of my fears now with the REP-80 being in this game is we're going to have 3 players applying damage to the enemy while the fourth one just heals continuously even if we're at full health. But we'll see. Very close to capturing the area. There we go. We need to move on to the right here. Probably down to the truth transmitter. Wow, how did he not die? There's the healing again when everyone's at full health already. Okay. Need to really get to that truth transmitter. Hugging that edge of the screen again. Which seems to be the usual thing I do.
Equipment on its way.
Okay. Next objective, I assume, would be the next truth transmitter.
Equipment on its way.
I am hugging the screen again. The edge of that screen. To get there. Keep that objective going. As soon as I get to an objective, I participate in trying to complete it. And in the rare occasion someone's already doing it, then I do the best I can to defend it, to give the person or people time to actually complete it. I disabled the tank. The REP-80 actually made sense here.
Supplies incoming.
REP-80 is actually making sense in this situation.
Firing for effect.
I messed up the arrow sequence.
Equipment on its way. Dropping equipment. Request confirmed.
Really kind of afraid to go up. Can hit the help on and go here. I don't know if anyone hears it going off. Evidently not. I had to wait to get up until the tank shot. I think one of them dropped their item. Recoilless rifle, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so now we have the geological survey. Just keep moving. Always moving, always moving. Go around the water if we can here. Always moving. Start the objective. Although a tank spawned up top, so I'm a little worried.
Supplies incoming.
A cyborg IFV spawned up top.
Equipment on its way.
Gotta keep this objective moving as much as we can.
Equipment on its way.
I don't know why we're not defending the south side. It's clearly like under attack. See? If you position yourself north of the objective that you have to defend and the south side is exposed, it's not going to work there. I'm not sure why we ran north of the geological survey when that was clearly where the enemy was. Anytime you're defending something, you kind of have to give it like a 360-degree defense. Whether you're doing the geological survey, or you're defending the launch pad. And then if an enemy approaches it, it doesn't make sense to expose what you're trying to defend to the enemy. That's how you kind of lose it.
Extraction confirmed. Shuttle inbound.
So my 3 eats are on cooldown, because I'm kind of hoping to defend the geological survey with them. I can't call them in right now. I'm kind of hoping the guy who's doing all the healing stops healing and participates a little bit in the fights. Maybe, hopefully that player brought anti-tank or something they could use to contribute. Maybe a little bit more than just perpetually healing.
Supplies incoming. Dropping equipment.
REP-80 did save me there. REP-80 did not save me there. Again, I don't know why we're retreating, or why we're not fighting. I know we have one player who's not fighting, and they're just perpetually healing, which is probably why we're struggling. I'm guessing we're struggling because of that. When you have 3 players fighting an enemy that's geared for 4 players, it's more difficult. I don't think I'll make it here. Looks pretty grim. So, it's inarguable that in that mission we did not have the firepower needed to hold back the enemy. The REP-80 player saved a couple. There were a couple instances where the REP-80 made sense. Otherwise, it was 3 players trying to fight back an enemy that was adjusted for 4 players. And when you have 3 players fighting that amount of enemy, especially if they're not geared correctly or their weapons aren't very effective, you're just going to get run over. It doesn't matter if your 4th player is just perpetually healing you or not. We lost an objective because of that. We decided not to defend the south side of the geological survey. And we just let we let the enemy push us back, and we didn't have the firepower to hold them back. So that resulted in us losing that geological survey, and then that resulted in not everyone getting on the shuttle for that very same reason. So the REP-80 use really, I think, hurt us more than it did save us. If the 4th player had a lineup that actually applied damage to the enemy, like a stratagem lineup, or just anything, anti-tank would have been great. Anything defensive would have been great. Not the REP-80. So that is my thought on that. I also not once used my incendiary bomb, so you could certainly say that I made a mistake in that as well. But I don't think not using my incendiary bomb is a greater error than what the other 3 were doing. So I'm definitely going to change it up, because clearly my loadout did not work last game, so to do the same thing over and over again would be insane. So I want to make a change here. So we had patrols that sounded the alarm quite often. I want to fix that with the breaker, hopefully. Breaker uses a lot of ammo, so I want to take the resupply pack with me. I often do that. I like to shoot a lot. I like to bring powerful weapons that have low amounts of ammo. So I need to bring more ammo. It fits my playstyle pretty well. Now I need some anti-tank, so I was thinking Demolisher. I'm not really sure what objectives were on the mission again, because I just have this horrible habit of not paying attention to that. It's so quick sometimes. So I'll try this loadout instead. Hopefully the other guys brought something more effective. Hopefully they didn't keep their same loadout, because it didn't work too well. My playstyle, I try to maximize the experience I get out of a mission, so try to play it as efficiently and effectively as possible. So I'm going to read the situation first before I take out my radio to call in my items. Make sure there are no patrols in the area. There's a lot of patrols actually. So.
Supplies incoming. Dropping equipment. Supplies incoming. Stand by. Equipment on its way. On its way. Dropping equipment.
Trying to hold back the patrols.
Stand by.
I don't think anyone else is
On
really
its way.
paying attention. So. Okay. I'm hoping we have enough anti-tank until we get to the ordnance, so I can do the disarm with the sniffer.
Equipment on its way.
I feel pretty comfortable with the breaker. A lot of players don't realize that the breaker ammunition is unstoppable, so they often shoot their own players when they're trying to shoot at the enemy that's between them. You have to be mindful of your rounds, because again, they over-penetrate the enemy, so you can easily hit a teammate that's on the other side. So again, we have the perpetual healing happening. I just really wish that the fourth player was a little bit more effective in applying damage to the enemy and participated. Alright, well that's a problem. I don't know why we went up this way. We could just keep going. Well, I guess they wanted a sample. But now we have what could be a much larger problem.
Reloading.
Okay. So we are approaching our first defense. I'm going to call in my demolishers when we get there, but not while we're on the move.
Stand by. Equipment on its way.
Do hear an engine on the left side. We should be able to kill it with the exosuit.
Dropping equipment.
Here, dogs. So it seems like we have a very similar loadout to the last mission. So I think there's a moderate probability we're going to have a similar result here, but we'll see. I changed my loadout, so maybe that's enough. There's a tank up there. Anytime you throw a demolisher at a target, make sure that it lands as close to the target as possible. Try not to blow it up while it's in the air. You want it as close to your target as possible to do maximum damage. Okay. I think I'm actually going to hold on to my demolisher and ignore the sniffer. I think the demolisher is a little bit more valuable right now. The only downside is I have to call on the sniffer again and wait that 15 seconds. But I do want the anti-tank. We do have respawn points that are dancing above our heads here. Remember, a respawn point doesn't mean a patrol is there necessarily, it just means they could spawn there. Let's get this going. Hopefully we'll kill the dogs. So we should really be on the other side too of the geological survey. We should have it more towards like the middle of the screen. We should be more on the right side of it. I feel like we're a little bit too far left. So we have the healing going. Really wish that player brought something a little bit defensive or something that isn't healing. I messed up the arrow sequence. Gotta defend the geological survey. Now we have the unexploded ordnance up top.
Dropping equipment. Repeat. Dropping equipment.
Just have to keep moving.
Request confirmed.
I'm not sure. I didn't know we were waiting on ammo. That player had plenty of time to call in ammo, like over a minute with the geological survey that we were doing. If you need to call in ammunition, you need to just do it at the objective, not when we're in transition to another one. And plus that player almost died by getting run over by a cyborg IFV. So, if you have more than like, what is it, like 90 seconds? Is it, how long is that geological? I think it's a minute,
Equipment
right?
on its way.
Potentially a minute to do a geological survey. Like that player had a whole minute to call in ammunition, and they chose to do it when it was over. It doesn't make sense. They also have to reload their gun. Okay.
Defensive stratagem
Start the
incoming.
sniffing as soon as possible. I guess I was the only one that called in the sniffer. I wish other people would help me with it. Oh, that player had a defensive item. They had a turret the whole time. They could have called it in at the geological survey for defense. I don't know if that's all of them. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Alright, so that went okay. Now we have to do the escort. So far I think everything's been going somewhat okay. We've been making some, like, efficiency mistakes with our stratagems. The REP-80, I think, still isn't helping as much as just participating in the fight would help. Gotta be aware of those
Dropping equipment.
spawn points. I hear dogs. That player still did not reload their justice. Well, I guess when they go to try to shoot, they'll realize they need to reload. Oh, they did it. Okay. I do hear dogs. I think it's up to them. You don't have to worry about the, I'm so surprised he survived. You don't have to worry about the convoy. When you do not activate it, it's invincible.
Request confirmed.
Sidestep the thin cone of bullets from the Hulks if you can. I'm not sure why we're all the way left. Like, this is an example, like, why are we not fighting the enemy right now? We're far left. I don't know why that player is jumping. Like, I feel like the team would be fighting. Like, shooting. Like, just shoot them. And it feels like we're not shooting them.
Dropping equipment.
I'd have to watch this video again. I'm not sure why we're all the way left in that example. Like, we're still not kind of converging on the escort. Okay. Is there something up there? No, there's not. I'm wondering if that player was looking for equipment they dropped earlier, but there's nothing on the radar that suggests they dropped anything. There's definitely enemies up here. You just have to be so aware of like where the enemy is and like actually fight the enemy. I feel like that goes a long way. Just fight the enemy. We're gonna lose the convoy. They got the alarm off in time. So I kind of made a mistake there. I could have killed them quicker, maybe if I aimed a little bit faster. Okay, now could be in trouble here. Oh, okay. I wish that guy would stop healing and just fight them. We're at full health. I don't get it. I think that's really hurting us. I know I mentioned it before, but I do have to call in ammo, perhaps, when we get to extraction. Because I have one ammo box left in my bag. Need to get out of the static field. Call in a demolisher. And then I'll call in ammunition. I'm going to grab both boxes of ammo. But I will do it after reloading. So now I should have 3 boxes of ammo in my bag, but I know the guy with the rocket launcher needs rockets, so they can definitely take ammo out of my bag if they need it. I don't know why he's not taking ammo.
T-minus 15 seconds.
I think I heard a Hulk fall.
T-minus 10 seconds. T-minus 5 seconds. Shuttle arriving.
Okay. So again, I think the REP-80 in this game was ineffective, and the player also saved a stratagem entirely for the very end of the shuttle, where when the shuttle lands, they want to throw a nuke out before they get on it. And players tend to actually reserve an entire stratagem for that, sometimes multiple stratagems, just for the effects at the end of the game. They want to call in big explosions and just have it look cool. I mean, it's certainly not my play style, and I know people want to do some like play for fun and stuff, but if you're trying to actually maximize your experience in this game and do really well, and really accelerate your levels, that does not help you. So I think all in all we played okay. I felt like my change in equipment was sound. It made sense. The breaker felt good, and the demolisher choice was okay. So it got a little dicey at the escort. I thought we weren't keeping up with it. I felt like we weren't really fighting in that sense, in that scenario. Let me go back to this ship. Around like the I've been kicked. So I felt like we weren't like really fighting around the escort. We were still retreating a little bit, so I want to watch that replay again. I'm not sure what time I'm at here with this recording. Maybe I can do one more. I don't know if it's like 40 minutes or something. Let's see if I can find one more that I feel like playing. Hide games from other regions, should I? Yeah. Bug, snow. I can try it. So what would I do with this? I can't do Suppressor, I can't do Scorcher. Justice would be popular. Breaker, shotguns won't work really except for maybe the Double Freedom. But you need something... Paragon. I feel like rifles would be okay. I almost feel like doing the arc shotgun again. Just for the fun of it. But then now what do I do about like tank bugs and stuff? Like I feel like I would need a lot of demolishers. Does that sound crazy? Should I do a rail cannon strike? Like you need so many ways of taking care of tanks. That guy's gonna die. Oh, he's gonna die. Gotta pick him up quick so he doesn't bleed out. Looks like we're using mines. In the static field. I'm gonna play around the SOS beacon because I can shoot through it with my arc lightning.
Defensive equipment inbound. Watch yourself. Defense drop incoming. Defensive stratagem incoming. Equipment on its way. Inbound. Incoming fire. Defense drop incoming. Reloading! Request confirmed.
Can't see the impaler. There we go. I don't know if that's my demolisher. No, I don't think it is. Oh, that was bad. I don't know whose grenades they were.
Request acknowledged.
Liberty for all!
Request confirmed. Request confirmed. Dropping equipment.
Hey, Russia, take the freedom!
Deploying defensive assets. Dropping equipment. Engaging target area.
So we're kind of limiting our movement now with these mines and like these rockets. Like we're just limiting our movement. So we can't really retreat now. We're kind of being forced back into a corner. I don't think these stratagems are very good in a retaliatory strike. Because you don't want to restrict your own movement. Especially on a map that's designed to restrict your movement already. It's just making it worse.
Defensive equipment inbound. Incoming. Firing for effect.
Like the Thunder Barrage, I would never. I just don't think it's good. You're kind of guessing where the enemy is going to show up. It's like not a good choice in my opinion. We did seem to bring anti-tank, which is nice. I have 2 satchels left. Trying not to shoot my friends. I was hoping someone would actually pick me up there. I'm not sure if they had enough time to pick me up or not. There were 2 players standing on my right side, but
firing for effect. Deploying defensive assets. Supplies incoming. Deploying defensive engaging target area.
pretty close.
Defensive stratagem incoming.
Pick up your friends if you can.
Defense drop incoming.
Yeah, that was bad. Oh. One of the reasons why Thunder Barrage may not be good, if you have to retreat back a little bit, you can't.
Deploying defensive assets. Defense drop incoming.
Good cover there by the railgun user. They managed to stun them long enough for me to actually get up.
Supplies incoming. Engaging target area.
Jumping!
Defensive equipment inbound. Defensive equipment
Jumping!
request confirmed. Stand by. Equipment on its way. Inbound. ETA T minus 1 minute 30 seconds. Request acknowledged.
Look at that!
Grenade!
Defense drop incoming. Equipment line incoming. Stand by. Equipment on its way. Deploying defensive assets. ETA T minus 1 minute. Request confirmed.
I do want to get to my demolisher here. There we go. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah.
Get down!
That was my fault there.
Request confirmed. Defense drop incoming. Hold out. T minus 30 Deploying seconds. Defensive assets.
Reloading!
Watch your supplies incoming.
Grenade!
Here's that Thunder barrage again.
T minus 15 seconds. ETA T minus 10 seconds. Dropping equipment. Repeat. Dropping defensive equipment inbound.
I think we can all get on. Okay. So I know I've said like countless times before in my previous recordings, the stratagems that limit your movement aren't good on a map that already limits your movement and constricts you. It's an arena. So putting down mines and other areas of effect that prevent you from going there hurts you more than the enemy, because you know the enemy can kind of spawn anywhere, out of the ground, or they fall out of the sky, or they warp in, whatever it is. So when you find yourself with enemies in a tight area in an arena and you can't retreat, you're kind of like making it difficult for yourself. I'm going to stop the recording here. I think I don't want to record anything that's too long. And I'll try to record more this weekend. Enjoy, guys. Thanks.